Good morning. Alrighty. Welcome to today's workout class. Looks so grainy. Sorry. Anyway, we are doing our standard strength training workout today. For weights, I would recommend having the usual 2 hand weights, whatever you normally use. Again, like I have a little pile for myself here that I'm going to be using, but that's because I have them. And I might as well use them if I have them, but it doesn't mean that the exercises can't be completed if you don't have those kinds of weights. So if you have hand weights, if you have kettlebells, if you have soup cans, if you have water bottles, whatever you have that has a little bit of heft to it, you'll want 2 of equal weight. And then if you want one that's a little bit heavier, we're going to start with some sumo squats for our leg exercises, where you can use a slightly heavier weight. But again, totally optional. Totally optional. You can do all of this with body weight as well. I think that's it. If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat. I don't spend too much time over here except to adjust the camera, but if I see that a question is coming in, I'll be able to answer it. Make sure you have a mat or a towel or something for floor work. Make sure you have some water, please, to stay hydrated. And I know I said class was starting at 10:05, but let's at least start warming up because I am early. I have a client until 10. I know I say this every single week now. I have a client until 10 on Wednesdays now. And so I say 10:05 just to be safe, but it's been pretty easy to set everything up ahead of time and then just jump right in. So, all right. Usual warm up, we're starting with 10 big arm circles going back and then 10 big arm circles going forward. Hope everybody is having a good week so far. I'm in San Francisco and the weather has been spectacular and it's making me very happy because I will take the little pieces of happiness where I can. All right, when you get to your 10 in each direction, we're going into a nice wide stance in the feet and bending forward until you can touch the floor. So if you can't touch the floor, try to widen the feet a little bit more, or you can use a yoga block or a kettlebell or a book stood on end to lean on instead. And then we're just rotating up towards the ceiling, alternating sides 5 times on each side. I tried to make my hair fancy today. I've been experimenting with different braids. Came out a hot mess, so apologies if you see the back of my head at any point. All right, from this wide stance, we're coming down into our side lunge stretch. Again, you don't have to come down super low. Just go as low as your mobility will allow you to. And we're doing 5 on each side. You should feel a really nice stretch on the inside of the straight leg. Up towards the groin area, your adductors on the inside tend to get really tight. So stretching them out is important. And if you're like me, you'll hear like a nice little symphony of knee pops every time you bend and straighten. Because that's what happens after you turn 30. It's real fun, folks. All right, let's go for some leg swings. As per usual, if you need to hold on to something like a bookshelf or a wall or what have you, go for it. This one's not about balance. But otherwise, just let the legs swing like a pendulum. Excuse me, don't try to control the movement. Just let it go. 10 on each side. Don't fall over. And then same thing on the other side. And when you get to 10, you're good. All right. One more for warm-up. we're going to do some knee pulls. So grabbing the knee, pulling it in. Again, if you can't pull it up too far, just grab it as far as you can. Or you can take like a scarf or a belt, or if you have like a yoga strap or something, loop it around the knee and use that to pull if you need a little bit more, like if your arms aren't long enough. Just doing 6 on each side, keeping it brief. Try to keep these classes to an hour, but they always go longer because I can't shut up. I ramble. Hopefully it's not too annoying. All right, we are good. Good to go. As per usual, we are starting with some core exercises. You can have a weight for this one if you want. We're going to do a Russian twist. Actually, here we go. Let me adjust this down so that you can see. Starting with a Russian twist, I'm going to use just a single dumbbell here to hold. You can have any kind of weight or any amount of weight that you want. I just wouldn't go too heavy on this one. I'm also going to be timing our intervals, so I'll be timing 30 seconds. You don't have to time at home. You can just follow along with me. And 2 levels to the Russian twist. You can either keep the heels planted with the knees up, nice open chest, don't let the shoulders crumble forward. And then you're just tapping the weight down side to side. It doesn't actually have to touch the floor. Side to side. Level 2, you're picking those heels up and then same movement, okay? So I'm going to be doing this with heels up, but you can pick whatever level feels comfortable for you. Go ahead and get in position. We're going into round 1 in 3, 2, 1. Timer is on. Let's go for it. Try not to twist through the back. You're really just moving the weight side to side and bracing through the core. Keep that chest open. Don't let the shoulders fall forward. We have 10 more seconds. And then a break. Last 5 and 3, 2, 1, and take a break. All right, 30 seconds to rest. Then round 2, same thing, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Everything I do with core is 30 seconds. It's just easier that way. When we get into the actual workout, you will be counting for yourselves because I don't want to feel like you have to go at whatever pace that I set. That's not natural. It's not normal. So you'll be counting your own paces. Okay. Round 2 in 3, 2, 1. Timer's on. I like to cross my legs or my ankles sometimes on these. It helps support the hip flexors a little bit. So if you have your legs up or your heels up and your quads are getting tired, your hip flexors are getting tired, try crossing at the ankle and it'll relieve some of the pressure from the hip flexors. 10 more seconds. Make sure you're not going too fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and break. This is not a speedy exercise. This should be done slowly and with control, because if you go too fast, your back is in trouble. All this rotation, if you're like side to side, just think about all that's doing to your poor spine. It's bad. So be careful, be slow. Proceed with caution. All right, getting ready for our last set. In 3, 2, 1, and to go. Make sure you're breathing too. Breath is important. Bring oxygen to those muscles. We have 10 seconds left of these. And last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay. Core exercise number 2. One moment, let me open my window. It's already getting warm in here. There we go. Core exercise number 2, we're doing bicycle crunches. So bicycle crunches should be familiar for most folks. But there are a couple modifications, a couple options for this one. which I'm gonna show ya. So, normal, like, final progression of the bicycle crunch. Hands supporting the neck, elbows stay wide, feet are up, and then nice and slow and controlled, you're reaching the elbow to touch the opposite knee, right? Rotating through the upper body. If that does not feel okay, you can do just the upper body or just the lower body. So, shoulders off the ground, just the upper body, knees are staying planted, but you're bringing your elbow to reach the opposite knee, so you're getting that rotation, or just lower body, upper body stays steady, and you're just extending the legs, okay? So you can pick whichever feels best for you. Totally up to you. As I always say, I'm giving you the tools, and then you are building your own workout. I'm not dictating exactly what you should be doing. Again, I have my handy dandy timer here, so I will be timing for 30-second intervals. Let's get into position. In 3, can I see this? 3, 2, 1, timer's on. Bicycle crunch jails. I haven't done these in a while. If you have like a hip popping happening when you extend and then flex your legs, try going up a little bit higher or not out as far. Almost there, 5 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and take break. 30 seconds of rest, and then we're going into round 2. I know the breaks are not super exciting. I always try to think of things to talk about. I'm like, do they really want to hear me talk? Just about random stuff to fill the silence? No, probably not. But my hope is that everybody has like a workout playlist that they're blasting in the background so that you have some good jams you're listening to. All right, 3, 2, 1, round 2. It is actually scientifically proven that playing music while you work out results in a more effective workout because there's more enthusiasm. 10 more seconds. And last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and break. All right, one more 30-second rest, one more set, and then we're moving on to our last core exercise, which I apologize for in advance, but I promise I'll provide modifications. Cross my heart. Yeah, music while you work out, always a good idea. Especially, like, I find that I can't do, well, I can technically. I don't like doing cardio unless I have a playlist where the beat matches whatever my feet are doing. And then it's really easy to get super into the cardio. Okay, last one in 3, 2, 1. Oops, and go. Technical malfunctions. Make sure you're breathing. 10 more seconds here. Last 5. And 3, 2, 1, and done. All right. Core should be feeling some things. My core is feeling some things. I'm going to grab a sip of water, and then we're going into our last core exercise for today, which is a plank up, down, or marching plank, whatever you want to call it. Same thing. And again, I will provide modifications. So the final exercise, the highest progression, I guess you could say, is going from a high plank to a low plank position and then back up on repeat for the full 30 seconds. So it's kind of like also secretly an arm exercise, or not so secretly. So in our plank, with our tailbone tucked, chin tucked, we're coming down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up on repeat, okay? If you don't want to do that, and I will completely understand if you don't. You can just hold your plank, high or low, either one. If you want to add a different variation, like a toe tap, shoulder tap, there's different variations that you can do to make it more interesting, but just a static plank is also fine. Don't worry about doing the full down, down, up, up. You can also do the walking plank from a knee plank if you kind of want to compromise between the two. So what that is going to look like is from your knees, you're bringing your hips forward, but making sure that you're not losing that low back. So keep the glutes tucked and tight, and then you're coming down to the elbows, up to the hands, etc. But from the knees instead of from the toes. Okay? Easy peasy. We're doing 30 seconds, 3 sets. My brain is already trying to tell me that this is a bad idea, even though I know it's fine. But you know how you get like a mental block against something? That's what's happening. Just being honest with you, folks. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, round 1. Yes, the good part is that it's more interesting than just a static plank. Like, I get really bored with static planks because you're just so aware of the torture that they're putting you through. I'm not a fan of static planks. Perfectly fine exercise, but not my fave. All right, 5 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, 30 seconds, and then round 2. Sorry, I keep adjusting my clothes. They keep shifting when I'm moving. I've realized that I fully don't understand the workout channels where everybody is like perfectly put together all the time, like full makeup and like designer matching 2-piece gym sets that never go out of place. Like, how do you do that? Everything is just like a sweaty, shifting mess when I work out. Okay, anyway, second set in 3, 2, 1, and go. Again, make sure you're breathing. We are halfway. Almost there. 5 more seconds. Keep those glutes tight. In 3, 2, 1, and break. Notice that I'm holding the plank at the end because when there's like 2 seconds left, it's not enough time for me to go down and do a full one. So if that happens, just hold your plank wherever you are. All right, 10 seconds of break, 1 more set, and then the core is done. And we're moving on to some sumo squats. All right, 3, 2, 1, here we go, last one. Now, this doesn't mean that we're not doing push-ups later. Just FYI. 5 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and done. Beautiful. Got a little bit of a heart rate going. Okay, well, let's readjust this. Back up. Okay. Going for some sumo squats. So on this one, for heaven's sake, sorry. If you want your weights, you can definitely use your weights. I'm going to be using a kettlebell here. So if you have 2 hand weights, we're going to have our nice wide stance with the toes pointing out at a diagonal. The hand weights are just going to hang out in front as we come down into our sumo squat. If you have 1 heavier weight, like a gallon jug or a heavy book or a potted plant, I don't know, anything like that, same thing, but you'll just be holding it with both hands and squat. Not too much to talk about on form for these. Just make sure that you're not squatting straight down. So you're not coming here and pushing the knees way forward. The butt is going back first. So that you're ending up with like a nice right angle in the legs. If you can't get down to parallel, that's totally fine. Just come down as low as you can. And then think about squeezing the glutes on the way up and at the top. All right, we're going for 12 of these. Counting on your own at home. Whenever you're ready, get, set, go. You can listen to my knees pop in the background. When you get to 12, take a break. Good. Grab water whenever you need it. You don't have to wait for official breaks. Keep it handy so you always have access to it. Oh, I'm taking 30 seconds of rest in between each set. You can take more or less, depending on what feels right for you. The general recommendation for ideal muscle work is like 30 to 60 seconds. Or no, well, technically 0 to 60, but. All right, going for my second set. Whenever you're ready. And when you get to 12, take a break. 30 seconds for me, however long you would like for you. It's been nice and warm out. Yesterday it was like 72 degrees, which is pretty much summer, or as much summer as San Francisco ever gets. I've lived here for 6 years, but I'm from the East Coast, and I feel like no matter how long I spend on the West Coast, it's still wild to me that February can be 70 degrees. Like, what is this? What is this? It's winter. Okay, last set. When you're ready, go for it. And when you get to 12, take a break. All right. That's 3 sets. Goes by fast. No problemo. Alrighty. We're gonna do some deadlifts next, because I love me some deadlifts. You can use whatever weight you just used for your sumo squats, you will be using for your deadlifts. Now, deadlift form is super important. I'm going for a Romanian deadlift, which is kind of like a straight leg deadlift, but not, your legs are not literally straight. You should keep some bend in the knee. But the main points of form are keeping the back flat. I always say, pretend there's a door behind you and you're trying to shut it with your butt. So you're not bending forward here. You're pushing back through the hips And see how the back stays nice and flat? It's because the shoulder blades are staying engaged. So if you let the shoulder blades go, the upper back rounds. So keep the shoulder blades engaged with the weights in hand. Don't let the lower back arch. You're keeping the tailbone tucked. And then you're just coming down to slightly below the knee. You don't want your shoulders to come below your hips. Just slightly below the knee, and then squeezing those glutes all the way up. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings on the way down, and then your glutes should be clenched all the way up. Which I know is hard because when you're in this position, they're all stretched out. The muscles are totally stretched out, but engage as much as you can and then extra squeeze at the top, and that will help protect your lower back. Okay? Position of the head, staying in line with the rest of your spine. So you're not deadlifting like this or like this. You're deadlifting in neutral, head is neutral. And then the weights are gonna stay in, whether you have one or two or however many you have, they're staying in really close to the legs. So you're not reaching forward, you're staying here. So you're basically creating like an ice cream cone shape with your body and then coming back up to standing. I think that's it. Is that enough? It's plenty. Okay, we're going for 12. Whatever weight you have, grab it, and you may begin. Again, keeping the head nice and neutral, squeezing those glutes on the way up, feeling that stretch in the hamstrings on the way down, and keeping those shoulder blades engaged so the shoulders don't slump forward as you come down. If you want, you can give an extra glute squeeze at the top, just for fun. Glute strength never hurt anybody. And when you get to 12, take a break. 30 seconds to rest. And then we're going for round 2. All right, getting set up for your second set. Grab your weights. And when you're ready, go for it. Going for 12. Make sure you're breathing. When you get to 12, take a break. Almost there. All right. Take that 30 seconds. I think one of the most common things I see done incorrectly are deadlifts. And while there are multiple styles of deadlift that you can do, the basic form is always the same. Flat back, neutral head, engage shoulder blades, engage glutes, like all that stuff stays the same throughout the different forms. And it's really common to see people trying to haul too much weight by just doing this. It's like, no. Injuries are just waiting to happen that way. So be really, really careful of your deadlift form. Get very, very comfortable with it at a lighter weight before you try amping it up. All right, last set. And when you get to 12, Your deadlifts are done. I'm gonna set this weight back where it belongs. All right, we have one more for the legs. We're doing some lateral squats. Take a break first, obviously, but I will demonstrate. I'm gonna be using my dumbbells for this one. You can really use any weight. There are multiple perfectly acceptable places to have your hands. You can have 2 weights up at the collarbone. You can have 1 weight held with both hands under the chin. Excuse me. You can have 2 weights down on either side of the leg, or 1 weight in one hand, reaching towards the toes. All sorts, and all are completely valid. What's important is what is going on with the legs. All right, so we're doing a lateral squat. So your legs are going to stay planted wide the whole time. Unlike the sumo squat, you do want your toes pointing straight forward throughout. So lateral squat, you can also do this with body weight. That's completely fine. But like we did in our warm-up, you're pushing back and down. Let me do this from the side so you can see where my butt's going. My foot's going to slide back and down, and then pressing back to center. So you're not bringing the knee forward. You're, again, hinging through the hip, kind of like your deadlift, hinging through the hip to come down as low as you comfortably can. And then same thing, same side. We're doing 10 on each side. And that's it. That's the exercise. All right, let's go for our first set. I'm grabbing my weights here. I'm gonna have my weights down on either side of the leg. That's where I feel most comfortable with them. And when you're ready, 10 per side. Let's do it. One side will probably feel easier than the other. Like my right side is more mobile than my left. And that's okay. Still getting as low as you comfortably can. Maybe edging slightly into discomfort or challenge in terms of depth. Because you can go generally a little bit lower than it feels like you can. And when you get to 10 on both sides, you're gonna pause and take a break. I'm taking 30 seconds. As always, you can take as long as you would like. Preferably not more than a minute. Mostly because if you take more than a minute, you'll be here forever. You don't need to be working out forever. An hour is plenty. An hour is good. That's actually a question that I get asked fairly often. Like, how much time should you be spending working out? And I would say for cardio, at least 30 minutes. But if you're doing more intensive cardio, like, well, let's get into our second set here. Like interval training, low impact or high impact, as long as it's high intensity, doesn't matter. Less is fine. Like 20 minutes is fine. But for weightlifting, it's really hard, unless you're doing circuits, it's really hard to get in a complete program in less than an hour, unless you're taking no breaks. I don't like to not take breaks. My body needs that recovery time. So it really depends on the person, but I would say an hour is perfectly fine amount of time to be spending on a workout. Certainly doesn't need to be more, unless you prefer much longer rest breaks, in which case it'll take up more time regardless. But yeah, it doesn't need to be 2 hours. No more than once a day. All right. I had a client ask me about doing 2-a-days, and I was like, no, why would you do that to your body? Don't do that. It's so stressful on the body. It's where exercise moves from healthy to unhealthy. Especially for people who get a period, there's like serious risk If you overtrain and undereat, one of the first things that happens is that you lose your period. All right, rest number 2. It's called amenorrhea. And that's one of the surest signs that you're doing too much. All right, one more set of those and then the legs are done. And we're moving on to the upper body. Aren't you excited? We're gonna start with push-ups. We always start with push-ups. When do we ever not? I'm telling you, I am nothing if not consistent. All right, let's go into our last set of these lateral squats if you're ready. I'm gonna start on the left side this time, just for funsies. When you get to 10 on one side, going into 10 on the other. And when you get to 10, take a break. Excellent. Okay. You'll be amazed to hear, I'm just gonna grab these, that we have nothing fancy for push-ups today. We're just doing regular push-ups. I am going to adjust this so that you can see the whole mat. So much of what I said for planks is also going to apply to your push-up position. I go over this every single week. So if you're here every single week, I know you're tired of hearing this, but you know, the more I say it, the more it's going to become embedded in your psyche forever, and you'll never forget how to do a proper push-up. So when I say proper push-up, I don't mean on the toes. That is a progression of a push-up. A proper push-up, I mean strictly talking about form, and that's going to apply to all levels that you're doing it at. So you can do these against the wall. You can do these against like a kitchen counter or something stable about the same height. You can do these on your knees against a couch or a chair that is firmly in contact with the wall. You can do these on your knees on the floor, or you can do them up on the toes. Regardless of where you're doing them, arm position, head position, core engagement, all of that is going to be the same, which is awfully convenient because you only have to think about it once and then it's the same for every level that you pick. So hands about in line with the shoulders in terms of placement, but slightly wider. So if we're doing tricep push-ups, you want to keep them narrow, but we're not. So they should be a little bit wider. And then same as your plank, your head is going to stay neutral. So no turtlenecking the head forward as you come down. Try to keep it chin tucked in line with the spine. And then your core is going to stay engaged. So I talk about this all the time. You don't want, tighten my shirt here. You don't want this little back arch thing happening. That is not good. That's not good. That is a anterior pelvic tilt, where your pelvis is tilted forward and it's putting a lot of strain on your low back. It's preventing your core muscles from engaging. And while it does make your butt pop, it is bad for your posture. So we're going to engage the core by tucking the pelvis forward. I don't know if you can really see what's happening, but glutes are engaged, pelvis is tucking forward, and then the whole back becomes pretty much flat. Now, everybody has I think most people have butts. If you have flesh on your butt, it's going to stick out, but don't confuse that with the arch in the low back. So even if you're tucked under, like you'll probably still see something sticking out, but that's fine. As long as you feel like you're scrunching forward so that your core muscles are engaged. Kind of like the position that a dog takes when it goes to poop. And that stays the same regardless of the push-up progression that you're picking. I'm going to be up on my toes. You can be wherever you want to be. I'm going to be doing 12, 3 sets of 12. I would recommend doing anywhere from 8 to 12 of these, depending on how you're feeling. All right, when you're ready, get in position. 3, 2, 1, and go. When you get to 12, take a break. That was the other thing I forgot to mention, sorry. Your elbows are staying at this angle. So your hands are facing forward. You're not bringing the elbows out wide. See how it rotates your hands to a weird position? Puts all this weird tension in your shoulders. So shoulders are staying relaxed, hands are facing forward. As you push down and up, you're keeping this 45-degree angle. So not a tricep push-up, not this weird wide push-up that's bad for you, 45 degrees. All right, 30 seconds to rest. We're gonna do 2 more sets. Yeah, I think that's it. I realize that people may get tired of me going on and on and on and on about form, but that's what you get for taking a class with a personal trainer. It's my favorite subject. Okay, when you're ready, we're going for round 2. Am I ready? Yeah, I think I am. Okay, round 2. When you get to whatever reps you picked, take a break. I'm going 40 seconds in between on these because my arms get more tired than my legs. So I take a slightly longer rest break to give them a little bit more time to recover so that my next set will be just as awesome as the first 2. All right, we are powering through these. We just have 2 more upper body exercises after this, and then that's it. You're done. Okay. Getting in position for our last set. Whenever you're ready, pick your reps and go for it. Oh, this one's a struggle. Oh, this. Oh, my word. All right. I'm going to be on the feet for the rest, which means I can get rid of this mat and stop having to adjust the dang camera, which I know is annoying. I'm sorry. Okay. So on the feet for the last 2, we're going to be doing a YW, which I used to do these all the time in class. I love them. This is targeting the shoulders and the muscles in your back that help control your shoulder blade mobility. So really good for posture, really good for scapular mobility. So you're going to have a bit of the same hinge forward that you have for your deadlift. So keeping the knees from bending too far. You're just staying in line with the ankles. You're hinging forward, keeping it back nice and flat. And then we're lifting up. I'll do this part from the front so you can see. Up into a Y position with the arms. Pulling down into a W. Can't really see, but shoulder blades should be coming together in the back. And then we're going straight back up into the Y, pulling down into the W. Now, you can do this with just your body weight. You can have lighter weights in each hand, but I would recommend not taking this too heavy because it's going to get a little bit challenging for the shoulders if you do. Two things to think about. First one being, try not to tense your neck here. So when you're in this position and you're lifting up into your Y, you see how my shoulders are away from the ears. You don't want to lift if you are not sure, and then you'll see how much of a gap you end up with by your ears. And then the second thing is when you pull down into your W, you are actually trying to make a W shape. So what I see a lot is this, or this, or this. Just you're trying to make this perfect W here. And that'll allow you to engage your shoulder blades. And then straight back up, back down, back up, back down. Okay, that's it. I'm going for like 10 to 12. Ooh. I don't know if I can actually use these because of the weird shape. Can't really get a grip on them. You know what? I'm going to use these instead. Pardon me, folks. Pardon me. This is... Okay. Using these instead. Low weight plates. Oh my God. Freaking lighting. Okay. Going into our first round, you've got that hinge forward, and we're going up, pull down, straight back up, pull down. Okay? 10 to 12. And when you reach whatever number you're aiming for, take a break. 30 seconds, and then we're diving into the second round. Do. 15 more seconds to rest, and then we're doing round 2. I know I keep apologizing for the lighting. It is not adjusting the way that it should be. I'm sorry. But as long as you can see what the exercise is, that's all that matters. Okay, going for round 2. When you're ready, and go. Make sure you're maintaining that forward lean. And when you get to whatever you're ending on, 10 or 12, take a break. If it's easier to think of it this way, it's almost like a leaning forward overhead press, similar movement where you've got this happening, but you're here instead. So it's a lot more scapular stuff, shoulder blade stuff going on, rather than just the shoulders. All right, so we've got one more set of those, then we're heading into some bicep curl action, and then we're good. All right, last one. Get in your position, and 10 to 12 when you're ready. Hope everybody's doing okay. And when you get to your rep end, you're done. Okay. Last one. We are going for a bicep curl into an overhead press. So you'll need 2 hand weights for this one. Medium weighted. If you're going pretty light, then you'll want to increase the number of reps that you do. But all we're doing, bicep curl up to the shoulders, rotate, press up overhead, rotate all the way back down. So you want to make sure that you are coming all the way down out of that press and not just giving up, because always remember that the lengthening of the muscle is equally important to the contraction. There's actually a whole form of exercise called eccentric movement that is targeting the lengthening movement rather than the contracting. So you're not coming up, up, down, and then just flopping. Control the curl all the way to the end. Okay? I'm going to do 8 to 10 of these. I would recommend, again, staying in that 8 to 12 range. If you're using very light weights, then I would go like 15 to 20 on these, just to make sure you're getting the most out of it. But whenever you're ready, we're going to go for it. This is the last exercise of the workout. All right, here we go. And again, don't let the shoulders crunch up around the ears, keeping those shoulders nice and low, keeping the neck from tensing. I feel weird staring at you while I do this. I'm going to turn to the side. When you get to the end of your reps, however many you're doing, you're going to take a break. There we go. All right, 30 seconds to rest for me. Quick sip of water. And then we'll be going into round 2. 10 more seconds of rest time. I would take the rest that you can, even if you're feeling ready. It's never a bad idea. Okay, round 2 when you're ready, and go. Keep that core engaged. And when you get to the end of your set, take a breather. Oh, I just did the thing that I told you not to do and I crapped out on my lengthening. Did you see that? I'm sorry. Bad trainer. Bad trainer. Ignore me. Ignore me. Do it correctly, please. Halfway through our rest break, and then we have one more set, and then you are free to go about your day, which I'm sure you're excited to do. All right. Last one. This is it. This is the grand finale. Whenever you're ready, go for it. Make sure you're not locking out your knees. Just because you're exercising the upper body doesn't mean that you should forget what your lower body's doing or ignore it. It is important. Make sure your feet are pointed straight ahead. Your toes are even with each other. Knees are nice and relaxed. Almost there. Almost there. You got this. All right. When you're done, you're done. That's a wrap. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. As always, sweaty face. As always, every Wednesday, 10:05, a couple minutes after 10 a.m. Pacific time, live stream strength training workout. And then I'm going to be doing cardio, low impact cardio every other week, but that's an upload, so you can do it whenever. But that is it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, workout requests, always leave them in the comments. I always appreciate a like. And tell your friends, get them to join you. I love having more people. It makes me happy, even though I can't see you. Anyway, please enjoy your day. Be safe, stay well, wear your masks, wash your hands, eat some good food, hydrate if you sweated a lot. And I will see you next time.